If you are 18 or over and have been told that the crime you committed will be dealt with out of court, this video will walk you through what out-of-court resolutions are and why they're used, the different out-of-court resolutions used in Devon and Cornwall, what restorative justice means and how it can help the victim, and what an out-of-court resolution means for you. An out-of-court resolution is a way to resolve criminal offences without going to court. In some cases, you'll agree conditions with the police that you must successfully complete to avoid court. In other cases, the police might divert you away from the formal criminal justice system. If this happens, there may be no further action and you can avoid a criminal record. The decision to use an out-of-court resolution must balance the need for justice with the potential benefits of resolving the crime without going to court. These resolutions enable swift access to justice for victims, a quick resolution of the offence, an opportunity to access support for underlying needs linked to offending, and an opportunity to avoid formal proceedings in court and, in some cases, avoid a criminal record if successfully completed. The evidence suggests that out-of-court resolutions are more successful at reducing people's likelihood to reoffend than if they went to court for a similar offence. The police make decisions about whether an out-of-court resolution might be right for your case. They do this by assessing the evidence, how serious the offence is, and the public interest. They often consult the victim and will consider your willingness to admit guilt and take part in restorative actions. Devon and Cornwall Police use several out-of-court resolutions for adults. These are classed as either informal or formal outcomes. A community resolution or deferred prosecution, which includes deferred caution or deferred charge, are informal outcomes. You will not receive a criminal record, although for some types of employment, DBS checks might need to be undertaken and, on a case-by-case basis, a decision might be taken to share the offence details. Formal outcomes are out-of-court resolutions where you will have a criminal record, but you will not need to go to court unless you do not complete your set conditions. These include adult simple caution and conditional cautions for domestic abuse. These will be disclosed on a DBS, which could affect future employment, and in some cases, a criminal record can affect your ability to travel to some countries. The police will primarily use a community resolution for first-time or less serious offending. You will have to accept responsibility for the criminal offence you have committed. It is an informal outcome that does not lead to a criminal record. As part of a community resolution, you will be offered the opportunity to undertake certain activities to both repair the harm caused and to help you avoid further offending or causing harm in future. You must also complete an intervention designed to address a need you might have linked to your offending. For example, if you have been found in possession of drugs, you will need to complete an online course to help you understand more about the impact of drugs and the harm they cause. An adult simple caution is a formal outcome and leads to a criminal record, but prevents a person being prosecuted and having to attend court. To receive an adult simple caution, you must admit to committing the offence in an interview with the police. An adult simple caution does not set conditions that you need to follow. However, it does not offer a way to support you to address underlying causes of your offending. If you continue to reoffend, it is likely that you will be charged to appear in court. If you are eligible, Devon and Cornwall Police might offer a deferred caution or a deferred charge. These are an opportunity to avoid court. They have a proven record of supporting offenders to make positive changes and reduce the likelihood of them getting involved with the police again. The decision to accept a deferred caution or deferred charge is voluntary. However, once you've agreed, you must comply with the conditions. If you complete the agreed conditions, you will not have a criminal record. Police will record it as no further action to be taken. Both deferred caution and deferred charge involve a 12 to 16-week contract and conditions that you will agree with the police. The conditions will be based on needs that you might have that are linked to your offending, how you can address the harm that you caused, and what can be done to support you not to reoffend. A key worker from the out-of-court resolutions team will work with you during the period of the contract and make sure the conditions are manageable, relevant, and proportionate. Both deferred caution and deferred charge have high compliance rates. This means most people complete their conditions and avoid further action and a criminal record. A conditional caution for domestic abuse has a strict eligibility criteria. It can only be used for an offence where there are no known aggravating circumstances and if the offender admits their guilt. There also cannot be any sign of coercive control. A conditional caution has mandatory conditions that you must follow and complete within 16 weeks. If you do not meet these conditions, the police will send the case to the Crown Prosecution Service, who will decide whether the case should progress to court. The mandatory conditions are to not reoffend during the 16 weeks of the conditional caution, to attend a 2-day cautioning and relationships abuse course provided by the Hampton Trust, and to engage with the out-of-court resolutions team. A key worker from the out-of-court resolutions team will work with you to ensure that you meet these conditions. If your crime has affected a victim, business, or community, the police will offer you the opportunity to engage in restorative justice. Restorative justice is the process of bringing those harmed by crime or conflict and those responsible for the harm into communication, enabling everyone affected by a particular incident to play a part in repairing the harm and finding a positive way forward. Restorative justice runs parallel to the criminal justice system and can be accessed at any time. However, it forms an important part of out-of-court resolutions. It covers a range of approaches. Activities can include giving an apology verbally or in a letter, communication between you and the victim that goes through a skilled practitioner, or restorative justice facilitators coordinating an opportunity to meet the victim in a safe space if both you and the victim want to do so. If you accept responsibility for the offence and stick to any conditions that are set, an out-of-court resolution can help you to avoid court proceedings or avoid a formal criminal record under a community resolution or deferred prosecution, repair some of the damage that you caused to others, for example by paying compensation or by ways of a sincere apology, and access support to help you stop reoffending, excluding under an adult simple caution.